What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. That's right, today we are going to be venturing off down memory lane, talking about how I started my criminal activities as well as which is worse, juvenile jail or adult jail. And I'm going to get into details on why I think juvenile jail was way worse than adult. I've been to both. I've been to juvie jail, adult jail, scared straight, penitentiary. Hey, I've seen it all. At least in the state of Virginia I have, alright? But I'm going to explain to you exactly why I think juvie jail is worse than adult jail. First, let's go back to when I was a juvenile. It all started with throwing an apple out of a school bus window in middle school. That's right. I used to throw all kinds of things out the school bus window. One time I ripped the whole cushion off the bus seat and threw that thing out the window. I'm talking about it was fully intact, the whole thing. I just folded it up as best I could and chucked it out the window right when a car was coming past, you know? But it wasn't until I shoved a battery into the center of the apple, threw it out the window, and it cracked an oncoming driver's windshield, where that guy turned around, followed the bus, and they checked the camera, and they found out it was me. Got a bunch of community service. Look, this is the thing about being a juvie. They give you lots of warnings, okay? They give you a lot of warnings. I mean, you could get caught I got caught doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and it wasn't until I got caught burglarizing a house. That was the last straw, you know what I mean? That was the last one, and they locked me up in juvie. Got caught with weed, got caught breaking into cars, got caught stealing a clerk of court CD player. I've told all these stories. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff as a juvenile. And all this was taking place right after 6th grade. That's right, man. It wasn't until I was about 9th grade, 10th grade that I got caught burglarizing a house. And that's what sent me to juvenile jail for the very first time, man. And it was hell on earth. And you know, before I went to juvie, I went to Scared Straight and with my mom. I went to Scared Straight in a couple of jails. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people say that program works, and I'm sure it does, but there are kids out there like me. I mean, I got a little short video clip here. Check it out. My mom was telling a story the other day, but she got emotional, so I'll just play a quick clip of it.
He was like laughing at them. Everything was funny to my son. I could not understand. While I'm trembling, he's laughing at them.
Anyways, yeah, man, you know, I was laughing at these freaking deputies as they're walking me through the jail. I was laughing at the inmates when they're trying to, you know, convince me they're going to get me when I get back into jail. I didn't care about none of that crap. They brought trays in, was it rice and beans? None of them, no kids ate it, except for me. I ate my tray and I ate a little bit of my neighbor's tray. I didn't mind the food. It was decent. That crap did not scare me, man. I was chilling with some freaking certified goons on the street, for real. By the time I got to high school, I was chilling with people that had bodies. But anyway, long story short, I went to juvie jail, and this, you know, even this didn't wake me up. It didn't. I'll tell you, it was absolutely crazy. The reason why I say juvie jail is worse than adult jail, okay, it has its pros and cons, okay? You know, when you become an adult, you're like 18 years old and you're surrounded by grown men, you know what I mean? Grown men, that's an adult jail. And those grown men could seriously kill you with their bare hands. In juvie jail, you're surrounded by people that are your age. I remember the blocks were separated by colors. I was in navy blue. It was a TDH, Tidewater Detention Home. And it was normal cells, just like jail, okay? But everyone in the block was the same age. They separated people by colors and their ages. It's so strange, man. I remember I got in a fight and they put me in the hole. And I was talking to this kid. It was my neighbor. And the kid was like 11 years old, man. 11 years old, and he was going on his way to, I think it was called Beaumont, the child penitentiary for armed robbery. You know what I mean? Armed robbery. He had a gun. Can you believe that 11-year-old kid out there freaking robbing people at gunpoint? It's real, my friends. So check it out. It was just strange to see all these and there was kids younger than 11 in this jail. For real. And I always thought to myself, what the hell did these kids do? You know what I mean? But there was young kids in this jail. And they would separate us by age. They would take us to this gym and you would see each other walking past other age groups. It was pretty crazy. The food really wasn't that bad. You know, they had decent trays, hot dogs and tacos and stuff like that. It wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? But this is the bad thing about juvie jail. They force you to go to school, okay? If you want to come out your cell, you have to go to school, right there in the little day room. You have to sit there and do book work almost all day, man. And I hated school, even though I graduated, which I have no earthly idea how I did it. I mean, I cheated my way all throughout high school, for real. I was paying people money to get me the answers or to do certain things for me to get exam answers. I'm talking off of teachers' desks and crazy stuff. SOLs, I'm not going to get into detail on exactly how I did it, but it was crazy. I had a crazy system in order to pass these tests. But yeah, juvie jail, you're going to be sitting there doing schoolwork all day, and the first tattoo I ever gave myself was in juvie, and it wasn't even considered a tattoo. I used an eraser to burn or a scar into my leg, and I put Tekken, can you believe that? Tekken into the side of my leg. I don't have the scar no more, but it was Tekken. It's a video game that I love, fighting game called Tekken, and I carved it into my flesh using an eraser. But anyway, these kids in juvie, they scrap. It's a gladiator camp. I'm talking about they fight all the time. It's not like jail either. It's funny, man. Jail, you get in a fight, you know, this is a con to jail, okay? This is one thing that really makes jail a little worse than juvie, okay? In jail, you get in a fight, you hope and pray that the guy doesn't beat you to death with his hands before the CO comes and helps you. You know what I mean? In juvie jail, you get to scrapping, and there's this big security dude that works in the block. And just picture it, man. This dude will... Every time these kids get in a fight, this dude will pick them up like they're rag dolls. Phew, phew, you know, and hold them up like this. And every now and then, this big security guard will have his work cut out for him because there'd be a teenager in there that's like his size. You know what I mean? It's like this dude shouldn't even belong. He doesn't even belong in juvie, man. What the hell is he doing? And this guy got a full beard and everything. You know what I mean? But most of the time, the security guards, man, whenever a fight breaks out, it's funny. They'd be ragdolling these little kids, throwing them around like, you know, separating them. It was crazy. But in jail, that crap don't happen. You know, you get maced, tased, or beat to death. You know, that's just that's just how it goes. So yeah, that is one thing about jail that is worse than juvie. But in juvie, you can't order canteen. Your family can't order. You know, all these little cooking episodes I make with ramen noodles, making those delicious burritos. Guess what? You ain't making that in juvie, my friends. Hell no, you ain't getting no freaking ramen noodles, beef sticks, all that crazy stuff. You ain't getting no candy. The only thing you're going to be getting is a snack pack at the end of the night of milk, peanut butter and jelly, and maybe an orange. That's all there is to it. God, I look forward to that snack pack every night. Delicious peanut butter and jelly. You don't get phone calls in juvie. You get like 3 phone calls, and the only people you're allowed to call is your parents. Like, I'm in juvie jail. I don't want to talk to my parents. You know what I mean? I really don't. At the time, I was probably hating my parents. Most of the kids in juvie jail are hating their parents at that time. You know, they're going through that hate their parents stage. So you didn't really want to call them. You did, though, because there was nothing else to do. The TV in juvie, they play whatever the hell they want to play. I'm talking about some crazy Little House on the Prairie movies. You know, Halloween. I'll never forget, it was Halloween time, and I think they were playing some black and white Frankenstein crap. Garbage, you know what I mean? It's torture. You don't get to do anything you want in juvie jail. You get visitations, but guess what? You only get it from your family, your parents. That's it. I don't want to see my parents for real, for real. Every time I saw them, I was like, God, you got to get me out of here. Get me out of here. You know what I mean? It was hell on earth in juvie jail. But not even that changed my way of living. As soon as I got out, man, I was back to my old ways, and I stabbed someone a few months later and went to adult jail and then to penitentiary. And when I got to the adult jail, I'll never forget, I was pretty damn scared, man. I didn't know what was going to happen to me, man. I was a tiny dude, but I had courage. I had heart, and that's all that matters. I went into that cell block, and I'll never forget it. I was like, man, you can make phone calls, you can buy snacks, you can watch BET, you can watch all this stuff. Man, I was like, man, this place is way better than juvie. You know what I mean? Besides the fact I was facing over 50 years in prison, and everyone was saying, hey, you're going to penitentiary for a very long time. I told everyone my charges, and they're like, bro, you are about to be greased. You know what I mean? Your judge is going to light you up. And for real, I came out on top. I beat a lot of the main charges that was going to send me to penitentiary for a long time. So I did end up going to prison, but at the same time, I beat a lot of charges that would have held me in there till I was like freaking 50. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing about the whole situation. I beat those charges. And I thank God every single day that crap didn't turn for the worse. Because I could have easily, if they just had their testimonies right and intact, I would still be in the penitentiary right now. I would never have a YouTube channel. I would never have had any kids. I wouldn't have had nothing. Because I'd still be in there cooking ramen noodles and praying to God that my parents don't die by the time I get out. But yeah, juvie jail is much worse than adult jail when it comes to the amenities. When it comes to danger level, adult jail is worse. Danger level, like losing your life type stuff is much worse in jail, of course. But in juvie, man, you're going to get into lots of rumbles. Hey, these young bucks, they are scrapping on a regular basis. And everybody in juvie is like a gangbanger. Everyone in juvie claims to be a gangbanger. I'll never forget it. I was in the holding tank going through court in juvie. All right, I was in the holding tank. And this was more of this stuff in this holding cell than there was in an adult. The juvie cell had gang stuff littered all over the cell. Walls, ceiling, carved in, wrote in. Paint was peeling and peeling 6-point, 5-point stars everywhere. Everything was nothing but gang literature all over the holding cell in juvie. In adult jail, it was kind of like that. I remember one time I went to Powhatan Penitentiary. This place, it was ancient. This place was ancient. I'll never forget it. But the cell that I was in, it was old as hell, and there was some paint peeling on the top bunk that I was sleeping at, and I started peeling the paint, and it was like playing Tomb Raider or something. You know what I mean? It was like you were uncovering secrets in a tomb. I was in this tomb, and I was peeling the paint, and I was like, oh my God. You know, there's like codes and stuff all underneath the paint, so I just started peeling it off. All of it off, you know what I mean? I peeled it all off. I was flushing the paint chips down the toilet. But at the end of the day, man, I was done. Me and my cellie got into it. We were peeling everything, man. There was naked women, portraits all over the walls, gang stuff. I'm talking about people's signatures from 1980 something. I'm talking about, it was crazy, man. It was very entertaining to look at all this ancient artwork from convicts well before I was even there. And also talking about this juvenile stuff and reminiscing on my past, I'll never forget it. I made a video. Maybe someone can quote it in the comment section, put the link up there. But I talked about my friend in high school that killed his father. Okay, he killed his father, and he invited me and a couple buddies over there to party, and there was a dead body in the house the whole time. His dad's dead body was in the house the whole time. It was a crazy experience, and that was one of the first times I ever experienced interrogation by the detectives for hours and hours on end. But maybe someone can leave a link in the comment section which video that was. I can't even remember the title. I apologize for that, but check it out. As I was going down memory lane thinking about how I was gonna talk about this video, I thought about this guy. So I looked him up. His release date's in 2028. His charges is first-degree murder and possession of a firearm. Well, today I sent him $100. I sent him $100 and I wrote him a message on it. I said, hey man, you remember me? Because we were really close, man. I mean, we were really close. We had a lot of memories. We smoked a lot of weed together, a lot of gravity bongs. That's right. But I wrote him a letter and a little note inside of the money that I sent him. And I said, remember me, man? Now I'm a prison YouTuber, man. I left him my information. I was like, man, get a hold of me. He was a really close friend of mine. And something just told me to write the dude. You know what I mean? Send him a little money. See how he's doing. He gets out in 2028. I think I'll be 41 by the time he gets out. But he was a really good guy, and I could never understand why he did what he did. I don't know what was going on with his father, but if they gave him that much time, then there had to have been some, foul play at hand. For real. He ain't experienced nothing in life except for a little bit of high school and the state penitentiary. But anyways, to sum all this up, man, listen, any kids out there that's committing these crimes, look at me, man. I did it. I lived it. I was committing crimes left and right. I tell you what, they're going to give you warning after warning. But as soon as you start picking up guns, hey, that's the end of the road. They're going to lock your butt up fast. Scared straight, it don't really work for me. It didn't work for me. I know it doesn't work for a lot of kids out there. But just keep this in mind, all you kids that want to keep being gangsters, man. I'm telling you, juvie jail is hell on earth. You think boredom at home is worse than boredom in juvie jail? Man, you are going to be bored out your freaking mind. There is nothing fun to do in juvie jail. And if you don't change your ways and you go to adult jail, hey, mark my words, man, you're at risk of losing your life or your manhood. So think about it. Think about it, man. Go graduate school. Go graduate school and look forward to the PlayStation 5, man. Get on your grind. Pick up a camera and tell your story. You never know, man. You could be the next YouTube sensation. You have no idea what life might throw your way, man. Things might be horrible right now, but I can promise you this. You stay on that straight and narrow and work for something greater and better, man. Listen to me, young buck. You'll make it, man. Life is rough, man. And I'll tell you right now, it doesn't matter what color you are. When you are 18, all them, even 17, all those warnings and bullcrap go out the window and they start handing out some real football numbers, okay? Double-digit numbers for the crimes that you were committing as a juvie, getting warnings and slap on the wrists. When you become an adult, you're going to be sitting your butt in a penitentiary for years upon years, and you're going to look back and say, what the freaking hell was I thinking? I'm telling you, man, I used to be just like you as a kid. But anyways, I hope someone got something from this video. Hopefully a young guy out there types in on YouTube. He might be facing time in juvie and finds my video and turns his life around. But anyways, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and check all the links in the description of the video. Add me up on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Go check out my Teespring page where all the merchandise is. And as always, I want to salute every last one of you who have been supporting me since the beginning and everyone who is just now joining the Lockdown 23-in-1 compound. That's right.